Something huge is about ready to hit the United States of America. That's what a lot of people are saying, folks. Let's get into it, Bulls and Bears. Back with another dose of economic reality. Thank you for being here. We've got another huge round of layoffs, several huge rounds of layoffs from some very big companies. Now, the question is, we're seeing layoff round after round, Amazon, UPS, and more, which we're going to get into here in a little bit. But when does it start showing up in the economy? When do so many people lose their jobs that they just don't have any more money to spend? They don't have any more credit available. And then you finally see people not able to go out and shop and not go spend any money because they don't have it or they don't have the credit. And then things start to look like behind me here, this shopping center. When does it happen, folks? When do we finally see the breaking point? Well, a lot of people are saying it's very, very close. Now, first, let's take a look at some of the numbers here, some of the recent layoff announcements. Here's some announcements from just the last 24 hours. Layoffs piling up, folks. Worker anxiety raising. UPS, Amazon, Target, Microsoft, P&G, and more. And the biggest one, what UPS is citing, is that it's AI driven. AI driven. So when does it get to a point where, again, so many people are out of work, it's just impossible to see the economic activity that you're still seeing? Like we talk about quite frequently, we still see the stores are busy. People are still out spending money. The concerts are packed. Concert tickets still cost $100 for some well-known artists because people are buying the tickets. If people weren't buying the tickets, they would have to drop the prices, but they're not. And we see this all over the place. Prices are still high because people are still finding a way to make the purchase. Maybe it's borrowing the money. Maybe it's putting it on a credit card. We know debt continues to rise exponentially for consumers and for the country as a whole, but definitely as for consumers as well with the credit card debt. People still have credit to spend. They have money to spend. Prices will still remain high. Economic activity will still remain looking strong, even though it's based on borrowed money. It'll still look strong. You'll still see a lot of economic activity. But when does it get to a point? I mean, let's take a look at some of these numbers here. Amazon. Huge layoff, folks. Let me get you the numbers here. 14,000 corporate jobs. Like we talked about in a few different videos, the corporate jobs are the ones at the biggest risk because they're more easily replaceable with AI. The analyst, the data processors, even HR jobs being taken by AI. It's crazy. 14,000 corporate job cuts. Target another 1,000. A lot of different areas and a lot of different companies. It's a very diverse type of layoff scenario that we're seeing here. Amazon said Tuesday it will cut 14,000 corporate jobs. That's 4% of its total workforce in this recent cut, as the online retail giant ramps up spending on AI while trimming costs elsewhere. So looking to eliminate people, folks. And this is not just Amazon, folks. Every company that's got a decent size to expand in this way is looking to get rid of as many people as possible. A letter to employees said most workers would be given 90 days to look for a new position internally. Also, UPS has disclosed about 48,000 job cuts this year as part of turnaround efforts, which arrive amid wider shifts in the company's shipping outputs. On Tuesday, through a regulatory filing, UPS said it cut about 34,000 operational positions. And the company announced another 14,000 role reductions, mostly within management. Combined with much higher than roughly 20,000 cuts UPS forecast earlier this year. So the forecasts were higher, or the cuts were higher than the forecast. UPS also said it would close daily operations of at least 93 leased and owned buildings during the first 9 months of this year. And one that we talked about a couple reports ago, Target, 1,800, so 1,800 corporate jobs, and that's 8% of its global corporate workforce. And there's a lot more. Nestle, Novo Nordisk said another 9,000 jobs. ConocoPhillips, noting that 20 to 25% of the company's employees and contractors would be impacted worldwide. Intel, Microsoft, the list goes on. Procter & Gamble, folks. It just goes on and on and on. But when does it show up in the economy? Here's someone that just got laid off. She said, I just got laid off an hour ago. It's hitting me really hard now, and I feel so lost thinking about how I'm going to pay my bills. And we're seeing a lot of these people just filming themselves, reacting to getting the news that they're laid off. Crying on camera. Not good. How many of these, she looks young. How many of these people have kids to feed? We've got the whole food benefit thing coming up in November, folks. So when you wrap everything up into one little ball or big ball, whichever way you want to look at it, people are saying that something has got to break. That something massive is about ready to drop or pop, depending on the way you look at it.
Breaking news coming out of Amazon that every Amazon employee needs to hear right now. According to GeekWire in Seattle, Amazon plans to lay off up to 30,000 corporate workers starting tomorrow morning. What do you need to do to prepare? Make sure you have all of your employment records, and if and when you receive a layoff notice, you should reach out to Amazon's HR team and request a copy of your personnel file. They legally have to keep it, and you legally have a right to it. It's astounding to me that Amazon will continue to hunt my family, an endeavor they've spent tens of millions of dollars on with nothing to show for it and no possible return. But they are going to put American families on the street, especially after they issued a return to work mandate, which caused lots of corporate Amazon workers to leave the cities they lived in, sell their homes, and return back to an Amazon hub just to be at the office. Now, I think Amazon did that to try to get people to quit, but I guess it didn't work. And so now after they've moved, they're going to lay the people off. If there was ever a moment to heed the siren call that you need to take your expertise and learn to make money on your own, this is it. And it's also a reminder, work is not your family. Companies will let you go on a dime, and that Amazon plans to replace hundreds of thousands of workers with robots by 2033. Spend your money locally on companies that care about you and protect yourself. The minute Amazon terminates you, you will lose access to your emails, your contacts, everything. And they are a ruthless company, in my opinion. But I'm sorry for everyone who'll go through this tomorrow. It's never fun. It's always hard. And if you ever want to talk about Amazon.
A ruthless company is what she's saying, folks. I looked it up today. Amazon's daily profits are about $600-something million. In other words, Bezos can buy a new yacht every day based on the profits that Amazon is making, but yet they're still looking to lay people off. That's why it's not about profits. It's not about how well the company's doing. No matter how well they're doing, they always want more. They always want more. It's kind of like the Warren Buffett billionaire mindset. They're already billionaires, but they're still out there acquiring companies. They're still investing. They always want more. It's never enough. And some people say that's the root of the problem. They say it's greed. They say these people at the top, these mega companies, corporate America, the billionaires, they're saying that if it weren't for the greed, that everything would be much, much better. Now, I think that's a part of it, but I think there's much bigger things that need to be looked at. And we'll cover them all on this channel. We always try to go full spectrum here as much as possible. But take a listen to a few other people giving their input on this recent situation.
Major economic red flag coming in, guys. It's me, Jeremy. October 27, 2025. So Amazon has announced that they're going to let go 30,000 employees starting tomorrow, October 28th. Guys, this is coming at the worst time. You've already got the government shutdown happening. You already have massive inflation. You already have AI coming in and wiping out job sectors left and right. You have the US dollar is collapsing. It's lost over 15% on the year already. You see people moving towards gold and silver, abandoning the US dollar. You have all the tariffs and the trade war stuff happening. You have militaries mobilizing, getting ready to battle over earth minerals and, supply routes and stuff like that, like the Panama Canal. We're here, guys. It's the end of the empire, the USA.
End of the empire. Also, National Guards on the street. I mean, folks, if you don't think it's going to get crazy, it's already gotten crazy. But how much crazier is it going to get?
Empire is collapsing right in front of our face, and you are about to see World War III phase 2, whatever you want to call it. We're going to move from just the economic war into military war here soon because this economy is about to collapse. Okay. And Amazon just letting off 30,000 workers right before the holiday season, as there's no government assistance, as the government shutdown's happening. It's bad, guys. And I'm recommending you get 100 days worth of food, water, medicine stocked up and ready to go. And this isn't about stocking up a bunch of your favorite treats and bunkering down for a 90-day lockdown for the holiday season. That's not what this is about. This is about the collapse of the empire and us preparing to not have to ever go back into their systems of control and division. This is our exit. All right. So you need to get 100 days worth of medicine. Okay. And what I mean by that is treat your food like medicine. Eat to live. Don't live to eat. Okay. So get what you need for 100 days. All right. Get healthy items. Canned fruits, organic if you can afford it. Get what you can afford to get. Do the best you can, and leave enough for other people. Okay. And if you have more resources, if you are in the position that after you've got your food, water, and meds for you and your family for 100 days survival, then get what you can for your neighbors and for your food banks and for your community. Okay. Because your dollar is not going to mean anything in the bank account. Okay. And it's going to lose value as everything happens. All right. It's going to crash. So you want assets, you want tradable things. Well, trade food with other people. That's what you can trade.
Now, some of you are out there saying, you're rolling your eyes, you're saying, oh, here's another prepper saying to stock up on food. We've been hearing this for years. Folks, can we go forever seeing what we're seeing continue to get worse and worse and worse? The layoffs getting worse, the cost of living getting worse, the dollar plunging. And that's the thing about rising prices. You would think that so many people losing their jobs would ultimately mean prices have to come down because it's less people spending money in the economy. But when the dollar is losing value so rapidly, that's going to be inflationary, even if a lot more people lose their jobs. It's going to continue to be inflationary. That's the really scary part of this, folks. Here, stagflation, hyperinflation. What's on the doorstep here? Let's finish up with this guy here. And we've got some other news to get into on the other side.
All right. So please, guys, get ready. Come together. This is the dark winter that everyone's been talking about, guys. They're not coming back. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that in the last couple days here that they come back to the table and they say, haha, we got you guys again. And here you go. Here's your assistance. And, here's unemployment for everyone that's losing their jobs. And everyone go ahead and go get your Christmas presents and all that. I hope they give you that.
I still think they're going to come together a last minute deal. What kind of person in a position of power, what kind of quote unquote leader wants tens of millions of people not able to eat all at once, starting in November? Like, who wants that? But then again, maybe there's some crazy people making these decisions, folks. So let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know what's right here. But let's finish up with him here.
There's a part of me that hopes that we can all finally just walk away from this. It's tough. I'm split on it. I'm going to be honest. Do I want to see people go through this collapse? No, I don't want to see people have to go through it. Do I feel it's necessary for us to get to something better? Yeah, that I do. Just being honest, guys. Like the video, share the video, but please go get yourself.
Sounds a little bit like me. I've had the same kind of feelings. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see people struggle. Definitely not. But in order to get to something better, you have to see some sort of collapse. Look at the housing market again in 2008. If it weren't for all these people that lost their homes because they jumped into the housing market way too heavily, a lot of investors lost their homes, but also just a lot of families lost their home. They lost the roof over their head. That had to happen for the market to come down. Now the housing market's way above where it was back then, and it's going to be even worse this time. And we have bubbles everywhere. The cost of living in general is in a bubble. Hopefully a bubble that will burst and prices will come down. But what's the carnage going to look like? What's the collateral damage? How many job losses? How many people missing meals, right? So it's pretty interesting, pretty scary to even some people to think about.
Today, I was laid off at Amazon. I am one of the 14,000 employees. I was a senior social media manager in Amazon ads, and earlier this month, I actually celebrated my 1 year anniversary, or Imiversary as they like to call it. And it was the closest I've ever come to a dream role. I was working social media marketing and tech, something I would have dreamed about and wished for in college. I was flown out to work my first Cannes Lion in the south of France, of all places. I interviewed celebrities on the red carpet, some that I had fangirled over since I was a little kid. But most importantly, I worked at a globally recognizable company that I knew made my immigrant parents proud. And even my grandma knew what Amazon was because of the packages we get on our doorstep. And fast forward to today, it also actually is exactly 1 week from my birthday. I guess my present from Amazon just came a little bit early. But that's all to say, I am feeling all the feels. I feel really grateful for sure that I got to live out a corporate dream for a year. But I guess that's the thing about dreams. They shift and transform, and I believe that my next dream is out there waiting for me. I don't know what it looks like or what it'll be, but stay tuned because we'll figure it out together.
I was laid off by Amazon. I was one of the 14,000 employees that were affected today. Email at 5 a.m. Seattle time. I think so that people don't have to go to the office if they are laid off. I'm still processing what has just happened. I guess I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for what to think, what to feel. If that actually happens to me, I will have 90 days to find a job within Amazon, and then after that, if I don't find a job, I will have some severance package, which will last for a few more months. So that's not bad. Yeah.
Well, I'm part of the layoffs that Amazon announced this morning, so that's fun. Nothing like waking up to, we don't need you anymore in your inbox. So if anyone has any leads with an executive assistant, junior program manager, director of operations, business management, HR, really anything, because like most millennials, I went to school for ages, have a shit ton of debt, and can't seem to get anywhere in life, I would love to chat with you. Thank you.
There you go, asking for jobs online, looking for leads online for new positions. Got to respect that. But he said something very important there. He's loaded up on debt. So are most people. The people you see shopping, the people you see at the concerts, the ball games, most of them loaded up on debt, folks. If it weren't for debt, I said this before, the stores would be half empty, the streets would be half empty, no one could put gas in their cars if it weren't for debt and credit cards, folks. So this economy looks like it's booming. You go out and people are spending money. I get it. And that's the question we get a lot on this channel. How are these people affording it, folks? It's borrowed money. But when does it get to a point when this evolves into a crisis? Not just that a few people are going to feel like the people living in the tents right now, people living in their vehicles or RVs or campers, but when most people feel it, folks. Is it around the corner? I mean, I've been feeling this way for a while. More bad news comes out all the time. When does it get to a breaking point, and what's that going to look like? I mean, please drop your thoughts below in this video because I need input too. I need maybe another angle. Give me another angle on this. What am I missing? Let me know what you think. And as far as Amazon goes and a lot of these big companies, they've been kind of messing with people, right? 2020 came, people moved out of the cities. They wanted to get out there away from the virus or whatnot. People were called back to the office. Some people speculated that that was a way for companies to get people to quit. A lot of people bought a home, had to sell a home, move back to the downtown area or back to the corporate facility. And then they get laid off a couple years later, sometimes even a year later after moving back. And what's next on the plate for those people, folks? So interesting. And again, a lot of people are loaded up on debt. They can't get that far. The person we heard from about 5-10 minutes ago, they talked about 100 days of food. Folks, people don't have enough for their next meal. Paycheck to paycheck, most people. Who's got 100 days living expenses? Not many people, but you've got the preppers coming out now saying, okay, this is getting to a boiling point. Things have reached a head. But again, we've heard this before. We've seen the warnings before. We've seen things that looked like it was going to be a major economic catastrophe. and transformative type of changes and announcements that still didn't create the sort of financial crisis that a lot of us have been not just predicting, but even preparing for. 2008 type of thing, right? I think it mostly goes back to the banks. If the banks are still lending, people are going to still be spending. That's my view. But what am I missing? Let me know down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video, hopefully. Everybody, see you next time. Bye for now. Peace.